Alright, hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So this is gonna be another video in a series where I talk about Valorant related stuff. And in this video I'm gonna talk about Sova and Ascent. So what his responsibilities are, my way of playing Sova, which is a little bit different than most because I focus on a specific thing when I play. And finally some tips, some general Ascent stuff that you can use. So yeah, let's begin. Okay, let's start this off by talking about Sova's responsibilities on defense. So he has three main responsibilities, which is getting information, setting up your teammates, and supporting. So setting up your teammates is actually supporting, but I'm still gonna put them in different sections, because when I mean supporting, I'm talking about something a little bit different, which I will explain more in depth later. Alright, so point number one, getting information. You have your recon, you have your drone, you need to use them to get information. So Sova players usually play on B. You can use your recon to get information in B main, outside B main, on mid link, top middle A main. You can literally get your recon anywhere if you put enough time in custom and try to find a lineup. So one thing I'm gonna say already, just a small side note, when you make lineups from spots that make sense. So let's say for example you want to find a recon lineup that lands like on A main here. So this is a lineup you're usually gonna throw around mid round area where you wanna refresh information. Let's say the Kaio can throw a knife from A to B, and you can throw a recon from B to A. This is like small things that are really good. Because this recon is really likely to get broken if you make it like anywhere here. So it's actually nice to have a Kaio knife landing on top and scanning all the information for you. And then you can have a recon doing pretty much the same thing for him. Like it lands here, and then it can scan like all of this area, all of like, okay, not all of this, but like a good amount of this, and then all of this area. So when you make a lineup like this, when you want to throw it mid-round, you cannot make it here, from here, for example, which is like some stuff I see on Twitter or on YouTube. Like, it doesn't make sense to make lineups from here, because, let's say 40 seconds into the round, 1 minute, enemies might already have market. Even 20 seconds into the round, enemies can have market already, so this lineup becomes useless. So you need to make them from spots that make sense, so that's either gonna be from lane, from stairs, or from city area. These are the spots that would make sense to make the lineup. So think why you're making the lineup, like where do you need it to land, and like I said, like why do you make it, like what's the use of it, and then find the spot where you make it from based on that. So that's the first thing. The second thing I already want to talk about it is like common mistakes that people make. I don't like seeing people throw this recon instantly when the round starts, or even throwing like this recon instantly when the round starts, simply because one person can break it, like, and you have zero info. Okay, you know, like one person broke it, but you don't know whether it's the killjoy who's playing the default here. You don't know if it's like one person breaking it and 5 people go in contact like after it and gonna pop on your face. So it's not worth it to use recon like this. Okay, so the question is, how do you actually use your recon? So I'm gonna talk about in general how to play Beyond Ascent. So this is the best way to play Beyond Ascent in this meta. Like no one is doing it, but this is the best way. So you use your turret here, standard, use standard alarm bot here. So Killjoy Sova playing B, Sova starts standard on lane here, and then Killjoy either starts on stairs or here, unless you have Astra on your team. So you can start city, and then if enemies rushing B, she can smoke and pull this, and then you can go out of the enemy smoke, and then it makes sense to play city. But usually people playing Omen in this command meta, so you either play here, like I'll explain in a second, or you play here. So if Killjoy is playing here, breaking the knife, breaking the recon. So yeah, let's say enemies do rush B, 2 options. Option number 1, you sit here as Sova. So you take timing, when enemies are out, you can peek, get a kill, and then you can go here and hold this, and then Killjoy, like at the same time as you peek, or like after you peek, whatever, like you can pick together, get another kill, and then she can go back here. So protocol number 1, like you kill here, you go here, you call your Killjoy, I'm watching stairs for you, and then she goes back here, she's watching lane for you, and then yeah, just very, very aim dependent, like both of these anchor styles that I'm gonna talk about, like this way of playing Beyond Ascent, which I explained is the best. It's very, very skill dependent because you don't really use utility to anchor, except for your recon, which I will explain in a second. Okay, so the second way to anchor B, like we said, we're not using this shit recon, so this is like another reason why not use this recon. If enemies are rushing B, one of the 5 players of the enemy team is gonna break this recon, and then you burned it, and then it's gonna be a lot harder for you to control B. If you have your recon on, it's a lot easier to buy time for rotations and to stop the enemy push, plus get some extra kills. You can use it either like here, or you can use it like up here on this shit, or another sick recon is just simply using it here. So it's gonna get like inside B main, plus also out, like if the chat is dashing out, etc. So the second way to play, like I said, is instead of taking this timing and peeking, you just instantly can go back here with your recon, or you can use your recon before, but let's say you're gonna use your recon here, and then you can sit here watching this, and then Killjoy can sit here with you and watch together. which is like pretty common. Now this spot does get wallbanged, yes, but only on post plant. Like no one wallbangs this when they're entering B. So you can have like Killjoy sitting here, you sit here, and then you can just hold these together, and then you can just double swing lane, or like he can swing, you can stay watching stairs for him, or like in timing you can swing lane, or in general you can just bait him, which is good as well. Like he can take some fights, you can help him, but like later if he gets pushed you can bait him a little bit, and then you can buy like even like a few more seconds for rotations. But yeah, like there's so many different ways you can do. But the main thing is you play around the protocol, around communication, around game sense. So you need to be two good players to do this. So you need to instantly call like I'm watching this for you, I'm watching this for you, like just proper communication on what you're doing. Alright, and if we're already talking about communication, so I'm gonna use this opportunity to plug my communication video. So I have a video explaining about communication, very in depth, pretty much like a guide to master communication. So if you're interested, you can watch it after this video. Link in the description. Now, we just talked about what we're gonna do if enemies decide to rush B. Let's talk about a round where enemies are doing a standard default. So they are not omen flashing main, not knifing here, not reconning here. So the indicator we're gonna take is their omen is not flashing B. So maybe we hear omen smoke on short, maybe recon middle, maybe knife on A main, maybe we knife A main and we have information. But pretty much just the whole indicator is that they are not omen flashing instantly. So as we know, with Killjoy you can use your molly whenever you want. So 30 seconds, 20 seconds before the round irrelevant, you can use it whenever. So I talked about this position, I will explain it now. So what we can do is we go here. 1 second before the round we use our molly here with Killjoy, and it's gonna travel and land exactly here. Now we have Killjoy turret here, getting information for this line, and then we're gonna have a molly landing behind it. So for the first 5 seconds of the round, we have information that enemies can only be outside here. Now, what we can do to abuse the current meta, when the current meta has been like this for like 3 years, which is you play with Killjoy turret here, and then Killjoy either playing passive here, picking off turret, or she's playing T-spawn, maybe she's going to break the turret and then deeping to middle, or they can just start like 3 middle, 2 aim in, or like 1-3-1. So pretty much this has been like this for a long time. Like I'm watching VODs all the time, and 12 rounds there's a turret sitting here and no one is punishing it. And also if it's not the Killjoy, like if they have a Cypher, it's still the same concept. So they have a camera here watching the short course instantly, and then he's probably playing with a tripwire here, like around this area, or he's doing instead of this camera, he's putting a camera in B-main, but again the same concept. So instead of punishing this turret, we're gonna punish this treatment camera. So 1 second before the round starts, we're gonna throw this molly I talked about, so from here, and then the barrier is gonna go down, so the molly is gonna go through the window. Now, Killjoy sitting here, after the molly, if the omen is flashing B-main instantly, she's just gonna go stairs and do one of the 2 protocols. If he is not, omen flashing B-main instantly, then she's gonna start walking up, and then when she's like pretty much anywhere here, Sova is gonna go to this position, and then gonna prepare. When the Killjoy is like around this line, here, he's just gonna throw this recon outside B-main. Now, this recon is gonna cover everything outside B, including into B-main a little bit, but anyways, like we said, for the first 5 seconds of the round, this is fully clear because of the molly we have from Killjoy. Alright, now we know that this recon is gonna get destroyed, which is actually perfect for us because we're gonna use it as distraction. So either half a second before the recon lands, or when the recon lands, our Killjoy is actually gonna pick together with this recon, so she can break the turret, she can break the trap, and then she can leap. Or another option she can do is obviously the recon gonna get destroyed, so she can wait and see where the person is destroying it from. So if he's destroying it from ticket, she can like wait 1 second instead of breaking the turret, and then she can swing to try to kill him, and if he's not picking, then she breaks the turret and leaps. Or like if he's breaking it from close, she can either wallbang him, or she can wait for the wide swing, etc. Now, obviously, yes, it is our Killjoy taking the fight, and it's a little bit risky because she's controlling middle and B-main, but it's not like risky to be honest, because you just have the recon getting the information for you, like obviously broken, but still, and then you have like the molly, so you have information that anywhere is here. So when the Killjoy is speaking, like no one is gonna sit here and hold him, it's not likely, because they're gonna be focused on breaking the recon. Now, anyways, I was talking about this, to play this anchor setup, this B-style setup, which is the best in my opinion, you anyways need to be 2 good players. Okay, so one thing we can do, after actually destroying the turret, or the trap, or killing the person, etc., we can actually return back to market. So if our enemies didn't hit the alarm bot already, then we can have our Killjoy walk into this position here, and then have our Sova pick off his contact here. The reason why we're not scared of B-main is because we have turret, obviously. Now, what we have to understand is that when enemies are taking market, they're using knife here, and they're using recon in the middle, and because we're gonna go into this position like 10-15 seconds into the round, then we don't have to be scared of enemies clearing market. They're not gonna use their Sova drone to clear market, because they know that we have presence on the main, so it's like a lot less likely people are gonna play market, therefore a lot less likely that the enemy Sova is gonna use his drone to clear market. Now, this setup is really good, because no one expects it, anyways, because you did pressure on B-main, and then even more, like this is a really good off angle, and you have like picking off contact, and you're not scared of B-main at all because of the turret. Now, one thing, of course, when you're walking into this market setup, you should call your A players to turn into a 3 setup or like a short setup, so they can be ready to instantly go and support you if enemies decide to go market. So that's like a small way to play beyond Ascent, which in my opinion is the best one. Just a small thing before getting into setting up your teammates. So for the lineups, I actually advise you to create your own lineups because it's a lot easier for you to create lineups from spots that actually make sense and for the actual rounds and strats that you need them for. Because there's a lot of great lineups on YouTube and on Twitter, but maybe the timing is off, like they're too fast or too slow. Maybe the position they're being thrown from is not the right one. Maybe you won't be there in an actual round, or again, like maybe you need to throw it from a different position. And as well, it's gonna be easier for you to remember when you make them yourself because you go through the whole process of creating them. So that's my advice for you. Okay, so for setting up your teammates, I already gave one example in the communication video, which is setting up your jet with operator here, so I will explain it here. So obviously, most of the times you're playing a standard default with the Sova and Killjoy like I explained before, like how to actually play it. So jet can play rotator. Let's say one round, you can put Kaio on A main with knife, and then Omen can play around garden with one way for him, for example, or like something like this, and then the jet can go towards B. So you can do the exact same thing with the Killjoy and Sova. You can do the recon outside and have the Killjoy walk up, but the jet is walking up together with the Killjoy, and then the Killjoy can peek with the recon, back the turret, and then leave. So the jet can take this angle, and then two things you can do. So either the market setup we talked about, Killjoy going here, so picking off his contact, etc. Or second option you can do, the Killjoy can just take his turret back, but like he doesn't take it back like instantly, he takes it back a lot later. So he's just running, and then the alarm bot is still here, so there is range, and then he's going garden. So I'm just gonna give a small setup you can do, which is really sick. So the Kaio can actually play here, the Omen can go to play around green box, let's say, or can play under heaven and jump spot. Like let's say this is gonna be the best one. And then the Killjoy is actually rotating to this position here, and the alarm bot is gonna work still. So she doesn't go here and take this, although she can. Maybe Kaio can sit under her, and you can double hold this, which is not bad. But I would actually like to do this setup where Killjoy is holding this cross, and then that means that whenever she gets contact, the person is in this box, so he's committed. So the Kaio can just sit here, and off the Killjoy contact, he can right click flash and then peek. And then he has like really free frags, and then if enemies are in, the Omen can just like smoke it and flash it, and the Kaio can knife it if needed, but obviously it's gonna give up his position, so only after he flashed and picked Olive Garden. So yeah, as well, like if enemies are executing out of Amen, he can just go into the smoke, and then when they're out, he can right click flash out and fight together with the Omen on site and Killjoy of course joining him. So it's a pretty good setup. So yeah, like they're just gonna close the door, Killjoy gonna go here, and then Sova can play towards city, and then he can either support like Jet, after she shoots he can recon B main for her, or if they're rushing B he can just recon like whenever like they're coming out, so he can get the kills through the smoke on city, and of course he can support A, but that's the third thing I'm gonna talk about, like supporting, the third point. Alright, so the rest of setting up your teammates on Ascent is pretty basic, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much in depth. Like obviously you can recon top middle and have your jet pick mid link, but I'm gonna give a full play with it on the third point. And the second thing you can do, like a second way to set up your jet, which people do, is like using this recon on top middle, slash aim, and then like you can also use this recon. Like they're both like pretty similar, they just cover like different things. Or you can do some like nerd recons, like some shit like this. Which is not bad. But like all these recons are the same, like they kinda like serve for the same purpose, but I just don't like them because they get broken anyways. So what instead I like to do is use this recon, but from B. So kind of the same way I would use the recon like here to set up my Killjoy. I would do the same thing for my jet. So I have two variations for them. One of them is like half a second faster, like this is the half a second faster, and I use that with the set play I do. And the second one is from here. So you aim between, like there's like these two things, and then these two things, so you just aim like here, on the middle, and you do 2 bars. And then this recon takes like 4.6 or 5.6 seconds, I don't remember exactly. And then it lands here, so it gets like all aim in, all top middle. So your jet can instantly walk up with a barrier, and then your Kaio can use a knife, and maybe the Omen can as well go aim in and join you to break their knife. And then after the knife, like Jet instantly starts to walk up with operator, and then recon lands, she can get all the angle, and yeah, like they're probably gonna break the recon, but it's cool, like she still has a pretty good angle, like she can get like to here, or like to here, and then she can get a kill in that shot. So yeah, the important thing is that you can use your own knife insta, and then you know if someone can jump up like early, and to stop like enemy push and etc. So that's a second way you can use it. Okay, so actually a third play you can do on Ascent. So like I said before, a lot of people are doing recon here, and then the jet is like peeking from short, mid link. So what I actually like to do, my own variation of it, is having a turret on B, and then Killjoy and Omen actually starting on middle. So Omen is here, he's instantly smoking top middle, and then he's actually tipping on this sledge here. Killjoy is breaking Dracon for him, and this position is really sick. Like no one is gonna go out of mid link and expect like here, or go out of top middle and expect this. So this is like really free kill. And then Sova and Jet are playing on short. So Sova is sitting here instantly holding for wide swing, and then the Jet is actually running up. So there's two ways, you can either run up here and peek deep, or what I like to do more is like run here and then get this angle like this. And then you can sit here for like the entire round, because if you're here and there is no smoke top middle, maybe someone TP it, maybe like whatever, like it's just riskier. So you can just jump down here. Sorry, and as well like for getting out it's harder if you are up here and like not here. So from here like Jet can take a shot and then she can smoke here and dash out, etc. But that's for later. So yeah, after the Jet gets this angle here, like here, sorry, the Sova can leave. And then lastly, the Kaio, he's going here, he's instantly throwing like some knife like this, that lands here. And then after this, he can go close to here and be ready with right click flash. Now the reason for that is because a lot of times when you do pressure on middle, the enemies just accelerate on A and try to rush A. So the Kaio can kind of make like a trap for them. If they start accelerating, he right clicks, and then peeks, gets some kills, and then just deeps and plays retake. So it's important that he understands that he only goes for like one kill and then just deeps. It's like a nice kind of trap setup, like I said. After the Jet is like on the angle, Sova can either play around garden and watch cross, and Kaio can hide on site. Like, and then if they execute, they can do some recon like this, or some stuff like that. Or he can just go heaven, and then like again do some same type of supporting, like with recon here. And then like, if they execute site, Omen can do smoke on site for Kaio, and you can kind of do like anchor style like this. So that's kind of a nice play you can do as well. So yeah, as well, if enemies are trying to rush B, you can instantly go here and throw some recon like this. So your Killjoy can try to get some kills from market while the enemies are executing B, and then you can play retake with an advantage. So yeah, like this is a pretty nice play you can do as well. Alright, let's get to the third point now, which is supporting. So that's my favorite thing on how to play Ascent. Like this is how I play my Sova. I said before, I'm not using my recons insta, so the main thing I am using it for is supporting. So it's getting a bit more popular now, like using cross map recons. Like this I think is the most popular one. Like I've been doing this for like 3 years because I found this to be the best way to play Ascent, with how the map is built and how easy it is for you to get your recons across the map. So not only for supporting, also for like setting up your teammates, like this one that I showed before, and I have like a lot of other type of recons like this that I advise you all to get because they're just really sick. So the main thing about these type of support recons, I make them from spots that make sense, like spots I will play in. So if I'm playing B, I will usually play either like lane, maybe I will have to play around stairs or rotate towards stairs, or I'm playing city, or maybe market like one time. So I will have recon from all these spots. Like I'm not gonna try to get recon from here or from like random ass spots. So I will have one from lane, which is gonna be like this, and then I'm gonna have one from stairs, which is the common one, and then I'm gonna have one for market, which is gonna be like this. So like all of these land pretty much like around the same area, and then I'm gonna have like 2 from city. So I'm gonna have like one from here, which is like this, which is the faster one. Like it's important for you as well to know like what recons are the fastest ones, and then I'm gonna have like one a little bit deeper, so from here, so like this. So I'm just gonna have like this, like the slowest one. I'm pretty sure like that was the market one. But anyways, like these 2 positions I'm using it like the least, like this one and this one, because I just don't play around these like most often. I usually use either this one or I use the lane one. And then maybe sometimes the stairs one. Okay, now the whole point of these recons is that you actually need to be very aware. You need to be very aware of the comms of your team, and you need to be very aware on what's going on the map. So let's say for example, I hear a Kai ult instantly when the round starts. I know it's either A or B. Like, and if I don't hear it on B, then they're gonna rush A. So I'm instantly gonna be throwing my recon on A. And then it's gonna land and my teammates can get kills from it. Like the whole point is that I usually try to time my recons for kills. So sometimes like you need to throw it earlier, sometimes you need to throw it a bit later. It's depending like on comp, it's depending on round. Like it's very, very situation dependent. It's hard to give like a proper example on when I would do what, but I just listen to my comms like of the team, like what they are doing. Are they walking up? Are they like pushing? Like as well, like if I hear they took mid control and they're like around short area, okay, I'm gonna be ready to support like A side because I know there's a good chance they're gonna continue for an A split. So same thing like on B, like if they're walking towards B, maybe I'm playing towards A, like some stuff, same shit. Like I'm just gonna try to listen and try to understand what the enemies are doing based on the comms. So you need to do it based on your own feeling, like the recon, because your teammates are not gonna ask for your recons most of the times. They're gonna be too focused on their own gameplay, which is fine. So I just try to focus on my own feeling and try to best understand what is going on around the map. Just try to analyze the information I'm getting. So this is how I do it. I'm not scared to burn my recons, but at the same time, like, I just try to understand what is going on. And then I'm gonna know that even, let's say, they're not committing, like, it still gives me some sort of information, the recon. So, yeah, I try to use them for kills rather than stopping the enemy execute, though. That's the main thing I will say. Like, I don't want them to freeze, like, which is still fine. I would prefer them to, like, commit as I'm doing the recon. And then my teammates can just get kills, like, really, really easily. Because enemies, like, when they're executing up, it's hard for them to obviously just 180 look up and like break it. So like sometimes it's landing here, sometimes like there's like some shit you can even like get that lands here. So yeah, I always try to time my recons for like when they're actually executing out. Alright, so I showed the recons from B to A. I'm gonna show some recons from A to B. So I showed this one to lane. You can also get this recon that is really nice, lands exactly inside B main. So like this. And then you can also get like 2 recons from here. So you can get this one, then you can get like this one. So they are pretty similar, like ish, like one lands here, one lands here. And then there's like one you can do from 3, from here. So it's this one, 2 bars, and then that lands like in this corner here exactly. And then there is the last one you can do from here. But again, like this recon, like here, and this recon here are not really useful. Like you're not gonna be in a position where you can use them really in a game, because you're just not gonna play in those spots. So just some nice bonus recons. Like you can aim this one a bit more to the right, so it lands here, but yeah, same concept. So these are some nice extra bonus recons that you can do. But yeah, you should like try to create your own recons, try to create your own ideas as well. It's gonna help you understand how you want to play the game, like as yourself, like as your own person. So yeah. Alright, now one small thing I wanna add: when you're creating or testing your lineups, you should miss them intentionally to understand how much margin for error do you have. There's some recons where you can just like wing them, you know, like not really try to aim them, just like the general direction, and they're gonna land and be good. Like even if you miss them by like a few meters. But there's some recons that are more like not pixel angle, but like they're more like you need to properly land them. So like this one, for example. So just try to understand like which recon is which and how much room for error do you have. So this one, for example, like if I miss it a little bit, it's still gonna land like here and here, but gonna be a bit worse. So I like to take like an extra like half a second to make sure it lands good. Like anyways, again, this type of recon I would use it mid round. So like anyways, it won't matter as much like 1 second further, like 1 second back. There's anyways like a good probability that the enemies are like waiting for knife or waiting for something. So like even if it's gonna miss, then like 1 second too late, like the purpose of the recon was served, which is like to find out if they're still on aiming. So if they're executing, obviously we know they're still on aiming. So yeah, like a small thing to do. Alright, so I'm gonna finish this video right here. It was obviously focused on defense, because attack on Ascent is a lot easier. And anyways, I don't want this video to get too long. So if you like the way I'm explaining things, you can DM me on Twitter if you're interested in coaching. Also, I have 2 other videos, like I said, communication and decision making, that you can check out. Gonna be links in the description. And yeah, that was all. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you know for new uploads. And give me feedback in the comments and video ideas that you are interested in seeing. So that was it. Thank you very much, and see you. Peace.